Hey Reddit. I'm 31F, and my husband, let's call him Mark, 34M, pulled something on me last weekend that I still haven't wrapped my head around. We've been married 6 years, together almost 9. And up until now, I honestly thought we were solid. Not perfect, what couple is? But nothing that ever screamed we're on the verge of ending. So when Mark surprised me with a weekend trip to reset and reconnect, I was thrilled. He booked us a 3-day getaway to a cozy mountain lodge with spa treatments, hiking trails, and guided bonding sessions. It sounded sweet and spontaneous, exactly what we needed after months of stress at work and barely seeing each other. But things started to feel strange from the second we arrived. The first welcome circle we were ushered into wasn't just couples lounging in robes sipping tea. It was a structured, ultra-serious group led by a therapist, and not the romantic communication exercises I was expecting. The very first sentence the therapist said was, "Welcome to your first step toward healthy separation and conscious uncoupling." Wait, what? I looked at Mark like, did we walk into the wrong room? He didn't even blink. He was nodding along. I was so confused I thought I'd misheard. But no. This was a divorce retreat. A 3-day crash course in how to emotionally and legally separate from your partner with dignity and compassion. And my husband had signed us up, without telling me. So there I was, sitting in a circle with 7 other couples, all nodding along while this therapist explained how conscious separation can lead to individual growth. Meanwhile, I'm gripping my chair, trying to understand how the hell I ended up here. I turned to Mark and whispered, "What is this?" He gave me the calmest look and said, "I didn't want to overwhelm you at home. I thought doing this in a relaxing setting would be better for both of us." I thought he was kidding. But he wasn't. He leaned in and said, "We both know this isn't working anymore. I just want us to part peacefully, not bitterly." I was stunned. That's not just a conversation you skip, that's a conversation you have before dragging your wife to the woods with no cell service and a suitcase full of lingerie. I asked him right there, in front of the group, "Are you saying we came here to break up?" His response? "I'm saying we came here to accept that maybe we already have." The room went awkwardly silent. Some couples nodded in sympathy. Others just avoided eye contact altogether. The therapist gently suggested we take a break. I stepped outside to breathe. Mark followed me, all smug and zen like he'd just delivered a TED Talk instead of blindsiding me with a surprise divorce weekend. He kept repeating that this was the kindest way to do this, that he didn't want to fight, that he wanted to help me transition peacefully. Like I'm a damn company he's laying off. I told him he was insane if he thought I was just going to sit through a breakup seminar like this was some inspirational retreat on Pinterest. He said I was being reactive and I should have seen this coming. But here's the kicker. Before I stormed off, I asked the one question that had been burning in my brain since he dropped this bomb. "Is there someone else?" His face did something weird. He hesitated for half a second too long. Then said, "This isn't about someone else. This is about us." Which we all know is code for, yes, but I'm not ready to admit it. I spent the rest of the day locked in the lodge bathroom, texting my best friend from the one bar of signal I could get near the window, trying to figure out how to get the hell home. I came here thinking we were fixing things. He came here to end us. So there I was, curled up on the cold tile of this lodge bathroom floor, trying to keep it together. My phone was barely clinging to a signal, but I managed to send a few desperate texts to my best friend, Sam. I told her everything about the retreat, the therapist, the awkward group circle, and the insane fact that Mark had lured me out here under the illusion of healing, just to emotionally ambush me. She didn't even try to hide it. Her first text back? "He's 100% seeing someone else. Who is she?" That's when something inside me clicked. A gut-level chill that made everything come together. A few weeks ago, Mark had started going to the gym again. Not like once in a while, religiously. 4 times a week, always at the same time, suddenly obsessed with protein powder and core strength. He'd also started wearing cologne again. I should have known. And now, stuck at this couple's retreat, I had nothing but time to think. That's when I remembered her. Erica. A woman from his office. She wasn't just a coworker, she was his direct report. Younger, recently divorced, and she'd started popping up in Mark's stories a little too often. I had to help Erica set up her project dashboard. Erica and I stayed late trying to fix the budget mess. Erica brought in muffins, nice touch, right? Erica this, Erica that. I remember teasing him about her once, saying, "Wow, sounds like Erica's your work wife," and he just laughed and said, "Nah, she's a mess. Totally not my type." Lying. Right. To my face. Back in the lodge, Mark knocked on the bathroom door, trying to coax me out. Said he wanted to talk calmly. I told him to go talk to his therapist. Or to Erica. There was a long pause. Then he muttered, "So you know. You know." That was all the confirmation I needed. I didn't ask how long it had been going on. I didn't need to. All I could think about was how many nights I'd gone to bed alone while he stayed up working. All the times I made excuses for him. And how he tricked me into thinking we were going on a romantic weekend, when the truth was, he just wanted to break the news somewhere scenic. What kind of man plans your breakup like a spa retreat? What's worse? I overheard him on the phone that night. Yes, I pressed my ear against the thin wall. He was whispering, "She knows." "No, I didn't tell her about you. She figured it out." He paused, then laughed. And I felt something inside me snap. I wasn't going to cry anymore. Not for him. The next morning, I booked a ride off that mountain. It cost me $217 and the driver had to come from 3 towns over. I didn't care. I left before the morning healing session even started. But don't worry. This story's not over. Because what I did next? Let's just say Mark's little peaceful divorce plan got a very public rewrite. So I left that retreat before sunrise. No note. No goodbye. Just packed my stuff, walked right past the front desk in my pajamas and boots, and waited in the freezing dark for the driver to show up. I didn't even care. I was shaking, but not from the cold. The whole ride home, I stared out the window, trying to decide if I should be petty, explosive, or mature. I chose none of the above. I chose strategic. Because Mark had gone behind my back, lied to my face, and dragged me into a staged therapy retreat designed to make him look like the reasonable one, like he tried everything, when all along, he had someone else lined up. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I wasn't going to cry in the shower or burn his clothes. I was going to make him regret thinking I was that naive. The second I got home, I went straight into action. First, I texted his boss. Not something I'd normally do, but I knew his company had strict rules about workplace relationships, especially between supervisors and direct reports. I didn't even have to say much. Just sent this. "Hey, I thought you should know that Mark, your finance manager, is currently involved with AITA from his team. Didn't want you to be blindsided if HR ever gets involved." No response. Just a little read receipt. Step 2? I posted the truth on our shared social media account. Yes, we had a couples page. Ugh. Looking back, that alone should have been a red flag. I posted a smiling photo of us from the day we arrived at the retreat. Then I added this caption. "This is the photo Mark made me take the day he brought me to a surprise couples retreat that turned out to be a secret divorce camp he signed us up for without telling me, because he'd already started sleeping with his coworker. Ladies, if he ever says he wants to heal the relationship, check his deleted texts first." I turned off comments. And logged out. 20 minutes later, my phone blew up. "Mark, are you out of your mind? Take it down. Then, you don't understand what you're doing. Then, you're being vindictive. And finally, this is harassment." Which is funny. Because the last message he sent me before the retreat was, "I just want us to grow through this with grace." Grace. I never replied. Instead, I sent screenshots of everything to a lawyer I'd quietly looked up the night I was still in the bathroom at the lodge. You know, just in case. And guess what? That shared account Mark used to handle our finances? Yeah, turns out he'd been moving little chunks of money into a business account over the last few months. Which was weird, since he doesn't own a business. But AITA does. She's a freelance branding coach. Of course she is. And the worst part? They were planning to take a trip to Italy next month. I found the itinerary in his email, under a folder called Wellness. You can't make this up. So yeah, I blew it up. And I'm just getting started. By the time I got back to my apartment, my social media post had already made the rounds. Our friends, coworkers, even a few of his relatives were liking it quietly or DMing me privately with variations of, "Wait, what? You're kidding, right? I always had a weird feeling about her." And the crown jewel. Check your email. I think I have something you'll want to see. That last one? It was from an old friend of mine, Jenna. She used to work with Mark before he moved to his current company. Apparently, Erica used to freelance at that office too. She attached screenshots from their old group chat and oh my God, he's done this before. There was another woman. Different year, same story. He dated a coworker, claimed it was a one-time emotional mistake, then ghosted her when she started asking where the relationship was going. This was before me. So clearly, I wasn't the first. Just the one he was dumb enough to try it on after marrying. Meanwhile, back at Camp Divorce, Mark was blowing up my phone non-stop. I ignored him. Then his mom called me. Now, his mom and I have never been close, but even she sounded like she'd been hit by a truck. She said, "I just got off the phone with Mark, what is happening?" So I told her. Plain and simple. "Your son brought me to a cabin in the woods, sat me in a circle with strangers, and tried to process a breakup he planned behind my back while secretly dating someone from his office. Her silence was beautiful. She muttered something about needing to talk to him and hung up. Later that night, Mark showed up outside my building. Like an idiot. I watched him from the second-floor window, pacing, phone to his ear, rehearsing whatever nonsense apology he thought might save him. I didn't go down. I didn't say a word. I just watched him stand there in the rain like the soaked dog he was. And then my lawyer texted. We'd gotten access to a few more documents, proof that Mark had tried to withdraw $12,000 from our joint emergency fund right after booking that Italy trip. This man literally tried to break up with me on a couple's retreat while secretly financing a vacation for himself and his mistress using money from our shared account. Money I saved when I was working 2 jobs before grad school. I couldn't stop shaking. But I wasn't crying anymore. I was calculating. This wasn't heartbreak anymore. This was war. After getting confirmation that Mark had tried to dip into our emergency fund behind my back, to fly his new girlfriend to Florence, no less, I called the bank that night and froze every joint account we had. Savings, checking, credit lines. All of it. He must have tried to use his card within the hour, because not long after, I got another text. Did you freeze the accounts? This is insane. We need to talk like adults. I didn't answer. Instead, I sent 2 emails. Email number 1, HR@hisjob. Subject line, formal complaint, undisclosed relationship with direct report. I attached screenshots of messages between him and Erica that Tessa, bless her, helped me extract from an old iCloud backup I hadn't touched in ages. They were stupid enough to back their phones up on our shared home Wi-Fi once. Don't ask how, I just got lucky. Email number 2, Erica's freelance agency. Subject, professional conduct violation, potential client theft plus relationship with client lead. Why? Because I also found out Mark had referred her to one of his corporate clients, under the table, and told them she was part of the company's branding department. She wasn't. He lied. That's grounds for dismissal. And if you think I'm done? Not yet. Remember the Italy trip? I found the booking confirmation in his inbox, so I forwarded it to his mom, along with a short message. This is what he used our shared funds for. Thought you should see it before the next family dinner. Not petty. Just honest. She never replied. But 2 hours later, I got a text from Mark's sister. We're so sorry. You deserved better. He's a ing idiot. Finally, I called the retreat lodge. I asked to speak to the manager and explained the situation. Not the cheating part, but that I was misled into attending a divorce workshop under the false pretense of marriage counseling. I asked for a partial refund. She said no. So I left a review. And let's just say it's the most liked Yelp review in that lodge's history now. Mark, for what it's worth, tried calling twice the next day. Left a voicemail that started with, "I'm not the bad guy here." I didn't even listen to the rest. Instead, I poured a glass of wine, emailed my lawyer a list of all shared assets and passwords, and started planning my next move. I wasn't just leaving him. I was erasing him. So, where were we? Right. I was sipping wine and watching the man who tried to divorce me over herbal tea and scenic views get financially neutered in real time. By the next morning, the fallout had officially begun. First, Mark's company launched an HR investigation. I got a confirmation email. They'd received my complaint and were initiating an internal review of leadership ethics and compliance. I didn't even need to follow up. Because 2 days later, his LinkedIn changed from finance manager to nothing. Yup, he got fired. Not only for the relationship, but because Erica had logged hours under false credentials to charge one of their top clients. And Mark approved it. I'm guessing Erica didn't take that news well either, because she went radio silent on all her socials. No Italy thirst traps. No soft life coffee flat lays. Just poof. Meanwhile, guess who texted me? Mark's dad. Now, this man has never liked me. He once referred to me as a little too independent. Still one of my favorite compliments, honestly. But his text? A whole shift. I just want you to know, whatever you choose to do next, you have our full support. We're ashamed of him. We didn't raise him to do this. That part hit. I'd expected rage. Maybe excuses. Instead, I got regret. From his family. Apparently, Mark hadn't told them anything, not about the affair, the retreat, the Italy trip, or the money. They found out the way everyone else did, from the post I made. And I guess seeing the whole ugly truth laid out in public flipped a switch. By the weekend, his sister unfollowed him. His aunt commented shameful under the Italy post on his burner Instagram, which I totally wasn't stalking. Even his cousin DM'd me with, honestly? That man's always been a walking red flag. I didn't reply. Because I was too busy meeting with my lawyer and serving Mark with divorce papers. At his mom's house, I would have mailed them, but I wanted the delivery to be memorable. The cherry on top? I had the process server attach a little note to the envelope. Consider this your conscious uncoupling. I thought that line might sound familiar to him. I haven't heard a word since. But the silence? It's bliss. It had been a solid week of blissful silence. No more Mark. No more mindful communication. No Italy spam. Just me, my lawyer, and a growing playlist of revenge anthems. Then, a letter arrived. Not an email. Not a text. A physical envelope, handwritten, postmarked from his office's city, the one he'd been fired from. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity wins every time. Inside was a typed letter, 2 pages long. Neatly stapled. And it wasn't from Mark. It was from Erica. The subject line? I didn't know either. I braced myself. Was this going to be some twisted apology? A pity plea? A final flex? Nope. It was a confession. She claimed Mark never told her we were still married. He'd said we were emotionally separated, that we'd both agreed to part ways, and that the retreat was just a formality before finalizing the paperwork. According to her, he even told her I'd already moved out. She found out the truth from the post, the same one I shared with everyone else. And here's the part that floored me. She included a screenshot of a message Mark sent her the day before the retreat. Once this is over, we'll be set. I'll have access to the emergency fund and we can move forward. She's not going to fight, it's all going to be clean. He even ended it with, trust me, I've got this under control. I sat there for a solid 10 minutes, rereading it, shaking with a weird mix of disgust and validation. This man actually thought he could lie to both of us and walk away clean. Like he was the mastermind of some polite little exit strategy, while playing puppet master with 2 women and a bank account. Erica went on to say she was disgusted, embarrassed, and had already given a statement to his former employer. She'd returned all the money he funneled into her accounts, and included a note from her lawyer confirming it. That blew me away. Look, I don't feel sorry for her. She's still hooked up with a married man, even if she thought it was fine. But at least she took accountability. Mark, on the other hand? I checked my email the next morning. He finally responded to the divorce filing. With a single line. Let's just get this over with. No apology. No explanation. Just defeat. And it was the sweetest thing I've ever read. After Mark's one-line response to the divorce filing, everything moved fast. I think once the HR hammer dropped, the Italy trip got cancelled, and his own family turned on him, he realized he wasn't winning this one. Not emotionally. Not legally. And definitely not financially. I got the apartment. I got my half of the emergency fund, plus a little extra, thanks to his unauthorized withdrawals. And best of all? I got my peace back. I won't lie and pretend it was all some empowering glow-up montage right away. It wasn't. The first few nights alone were hard. I kept thinking about the retreat, how he smiled when we first got there, how he touched my hand when he said he just wanted us to grow. What a joke. But then I started sleeping better. Eating better. Breathing. I went back to yoga. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in forever. And most shockingly, I opened up my photography side hustle again. The one I'd shelved because Mark didn't think it would ever be scalable. Yeah. That one. Within 2 weeks, I booked 5 shoots. One of them was for a small women-owned business rebranding their website. The founder and I hit it off immediately. Turns out she'd gone through something eerily similar a few years ago. We got drinks after the shoot. One drink turned into dinner. Dinner turned into laughter. Laughter turned into plans for a creative collaboration. And now? She's offered me a role as their in-house content producer. Remote, flexible, fully paid. I'm telling you, the second I cleared Mark from my life, the universe started making room for better things. But here's the part one didn't expect. 2 days ago, I ran into Mark. At a grocery store, of all places. He looked tired. Like life had knocked him down and didn't bother helping him back up. He tried to smile. Said, "You look good." I just said, "I am." And walked away. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel petty. I just felt free. And that's better than revenge. A month after I ran into Mark, the divorce was finalized. No more paperwork. No more emails from his lawyer. No more shared bills, shared passwords, shared anything. It was done. I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, alone, holding the official document in one hand and a glass of champagne in the other. I looked at myself, not in sadness, not in disbelief, but with this quiet, grounded pride. Because for the first time in years, I recognized the woman staring back. She wasn't scared anymore. She wasn't shrinking herself to keep a man comfortable. She wasn't questioning if she was too emotional, too intense, too reactive. She was done with that. And in her place was someone strong, funny, kind, and ready to build something real on her own terms. I celebrated quietly. I didn't post anything online. I didn't call anyone right away. Instead, I sat on the floor, lit a candle, and wrote a list. Just for me. Things I want to do now that I'm free. Asterisk go on a solo trip. Somewhere warm. With loud music. Asterisk repaint the apartment. No more grayish. Asterisk say yes to more brunches and less explanations. Asterisk dance again. Really dance. Asterisk trust myself. First and always. And at the very bottom, I scribbled something I hadn't dared write in a long time. Fall in love with myself first. I folded that list and slipped it into a journal. And the next day, I booked a flight. Just one ticket. Window seat. No return date yet. As I watched the confirmation hit my inbox, I smiled to myself and whispered. He tried to break me in the prettiest way he could think of. But all he did was set me free. This isn't a story about heartbreak anymore. This is the part where I start over. On my own. And honestly, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.